Hey guys, and welcome back. We are going to continue carrying the torch on the 72, forget, Honda SL125 that came from a yard sale that needed a bunch of love. And I would say we're probably about 80 to 90% of the way through, and I want to make sure that we finish this up and it doesn't get sidetracked. Most to all the parts have been ordered for it. Top end's been done. The transmission had an issue with a bad third gear. The case was split, gears were put in it. That's done. And then the piston and cylinder was iffy, so we replaced that one with one that was of questionable Chinese quality, but I believe we have that kind of squared away. Ran it. I've been running it 15-20 minutes, half hour, 40 minutes at a pop. I'm just kind of running it around the yard and make sure everything is okay. It's running on a little jerry can up on the handlebars there, and everything seems decent. Starts real easy, no choke. Give it a kick. Gotta stay on the revs just a little bit till it warms up, or just turn the choke on and it does what it's supposed to. But it starts easy. So parts are in. We have new sprockets, chain, front fork seals, carburetor parts. There's a new float in there. There's I think a carb kit. The petcock, the gas tank. Harvey Spooner and I made a deal, and I ended up getting a SL100 for parts. So we are stealing some stuff off of that for this bike that this bike needs. Gas tank's been done. It was rusty, roddy, and it's been cleaned and sealed on the inside, and half-assed attempt at pulling it down out of one side, but we're going to leave it at that so it can maintain the original paint. This cover is the wrong color, but it's the right size, and that's the one for this side that came off that other bike. I guess they all fail in the same place, and they seem like they all get lost or fall off. So we're gonna have to paint that guy, and somebody already painted the right side black, so we will paint both of them probably a grayish color. Try to get close to whatever that is just for the sides, and leave the rest of it alone. I'm not painting any of the other pieces. Got new tires already on it. Exhaust is wrong. You can tell it was put around. Exhaust is wrong. It has the correct front pipe. I still have to change the donut in the front. I just threw that on there. You can see where it's been scabbed together a couple of times to put whatever this thing is on the end of it. It's got the heat shield right here. And over here, off the other bike, although it's beat up, it is what is supposed to be on the bike, and you can see that it has the opposite issue. The back of it is correct, and the front of it is busted off and broken. So we're gonna take those two, and we're gonna sister them together and try to make ourselves a good new one, or a good used one. So I think maybe we'll start with that, or doing the rear sprockets, one of the two. I'm not sure yet. We got some dents to see if we can try to pop out of that guy, and we'll definitely paint that with some probably some gas grill paint or heat paint of some sort. Without further ado, let me get this thing some sort of starting with something, and we'll continue on. So I figured maybe I'll work with getting some paint on those covers so that they can kind of tack up while we were doing the other stuff. And I went to my hoard. This is what I have that are roughly in the silver family. You can see the tank behind it is what we're going for. So I figure we're on the inside of the black cover. Who knows which ones of these are even going to actually spray. But I figure we'll try and see if any of those come fairly close. And that is way too fake chrome looking. I shook them all already. That's a little better. We'll see how it dries. Anything a little too dark on that one, huh? And this one is, oh, what kind of color? The satin, they're calling it. Sure don't screw up the order. Which one do we think it was the best one? I already screwed it up. whatever the second one was. I think was... I think it was this one. And let's go shoot this one a little bit more. We'll give a better bit of coverage. I think that's the one we're going to want. We'll let that dry. It's probably going to be about as close as we're going to get. I have a feeling it's still going to say 100 after I even remove these, just from the glue stain. Cooling off. That one's gonna need more. Yes, I cleaned it. Might need to be cleaned again. Yeah, it ain't like that right there. With that set up, I'll give it another coat and see if it will cover it. If not, we're gonna have to go do something about that. Consider that a light tack. Let's see how. That one's already got this paint on it. Like a patch was already done there at one time. Looks like that's probably where a common spot. Probably where your legs hit it. Cause that tab area to break. Yeah, this one does. Just missed it. Color actually looks pretty decent. Wouldn't exactly say it's a perfect match, but it ain't that far off. Get some little 125 stickers from Home Depot, maybe. Possibly look at my line. Might even go get the right ones that are not terribly expensive. I came back and I missed it over that. Seemed like it covered it, no problem. What I should have done was taken some goof off though and got rid of the glue. I screwed up there. We'll see what the new 125 letters look like. I may go redo that. So I would wager to say that this is the original chain and sprockets that is on here. And if you look, it's pulled back all the way to almost as far back as it can go, and someone's actually scabbed some hardware in there. So it seems to get a little bit more out of it. So I would definitely say that chain is somewhat stretched. And check the tip of the sprocket. You can see how they are to a point. They should have a square notch on top of them, and they do not. So I'm gonna go get the back wheel off. We'll do that next. We're in. Let's see what we got for brakes. It's a weird spring setup, huh? It goes from that side of the shoe to the back side of that one, and opposite on there. Material looks like it's got plenty of meat on it. Like we may want to take some sandpaper to that guy a little bit though. Bearing feels okay. That one feels alright. Get rid of our sprocket. And just open up our new one to make sure that it's apples. I know, I think one of them I changed the amount of teeth a little bit. That should bolt right on there. This one looks the same size. I think I went up or down a tooth on the front sprocket. Don't recall. Yeah, this is a 49. And that one's a 49. So that's the same. Snap rings off. And we just got 4 locating pins that go on rubber bushings. So we'll get them out of there. Got to bend the tabs down. And I'll just probably hit them with the impact gun. We'll buzz them off. Transfer them over. I'm going to whoosh it a little though. Needs a whooshing. And let's see if we can get those guys out of the way. Probably should have left this on a wheel. Might have been a little bit easier. I think there's 2 pair. Remember, never use a screwdriver as a pry bar or chisel. That's what you get. 3 more times. And in with the new. They got... Yeah, ain't gonna work. They got little shoulders got to face inward. Something I gotta watch out for. That one's wrong. Trying to show you. That guy's got to face in towards that groove. I'm going to throw a pair of pliers down them, get them so they're nice and square to the circle, and then tighten them up. That's just grab them with vice grips and hold them in the right place and tighten them up with a wrench on the other end. Now I'm just going to bend all the tips back up. Little locking tabs. I think you got the idea. And let's get this guy back on there. I think we're good. There we go. Now we're good. Let's go change out that front one. You can see the difference in size on that. And that guy is kind of keyed in there. Might be better if I put it in gear, huh? Alright. So it's got this collar on it. It doesn't allow it to come off. You do that. And I don't think there's an in and out on the front one. The back one there is. And you got that. And this guy should rekey back to it. Let's look and see what the size difference is. This is a 16 and this is a gobbly mess. I would say it's probably 2 teeth, so it's going to make it taller. It'll make it not as much bottom end but better on the road, and we'll see if that is a help or a hindrance. That front sprocket actually looks pretty good too, so The good thing is the chain will be longer. You got to cut the chain anyway, but it's going to be longer. So if I find that I don't like this, that it's too tall, I could put the other sprocket in it and take a link or two out of it if it's not in the window of the adjustment. I'm going to pop a wrench on them and give them one last kind of whack. Let's see if we can knock some of that rust off. I don't know what the grit, this is 80 grit. I'm just looking to break off that rust. Take that outside and blow it off and see if I need to address that anymore. Give it a quick cleanup with a wire wheel just around the outside. See if we can pop them off of there. Pivot. A little growly. See if we can. There's a snap ring holding that. I know what it is, the lever's got to come off, it's got to go this direction. That's got the wrong bolt in it anyway. That piece of crap. What's that thing? I don't think I trust my my braking capacity with that. So let's get rid of that piece of junk. I'll pull the pin out, we'll clean the pin up and this point up. Put a little bit of anti-seize on those pivot points and put it back together. Let's get that pile of junk out of there. Take a look at the other bike, see if that's got the correct size for it. There you go. That. We'll clean that up on the wire wheel. It should have an O-ring. Sometimes they have an O-ring in the center. No, it's just a valley. Hey, let's see how graceful this is going back together. We'll give her a quick little. That's too much oozing out of there. Let's get rid of all that. Don't want to get on the brake shoes. We can do a little on the pivot though. Okay, let's give yourself a finger lick of that. Got to wire wheel the shoes. Yeah, let's see if we can snap them back over. Good. Brake rod's got a little bit of a bend to it. See if you can get that out with a wrench. What do you think? Right about there? That's better. I'm going to buzz that up and down with a wire wheel and clean that up. Watch your eyes. on there. I'm gonna kind of all start it when we put the wheel on at the same time. Let's see if we can get the components back. So I have to change the chain, so I'm not caring about setting the adjustment up yet, because the adjustment's going to come, you know, for the brakes after the chain has been done. I'm just trying to get all the hardware back in its rightful location. This thing has a little cam on the end of it. I don't know if it shows. A little detent for that barrel. So it kind of locks itself into place. Get started. I think that spring's going to be a little wimpy for us. That spring, I think, is going to need more spring, because that's what holds against it. You know what I mean? Maybe. Might be okay. We'll see. We got another spare part spike again. And then that guy's got to get rotated down to catch that lever. So it's got a shoulder bolt that goes in the back. And getting it between the spokes. There you go. That guy like that. And it had a rubber washer in between. Done that. And there goes the washer. And that ain't done up. When was it? I had two nuts on the on these guys for spacers. There we go. That's the right one. So we can leave all that loose until the chain gets put into correct length. Somewhere on here should be a master. This old V stretched out chain on here. It is right here. Poke and prod and stab myself in the finger. Maybe a little screwdriver. Right. Do my best to keep it out of harm's way. Should come off. Get this half off now. That guy, that guy. Now we got the new one. Hopefully it's long enough. That would suck if not, huh? Let's go and feed that through. And we should have to cut a little bit off. Should. That's in gear, so we'll let it lay on that sprocket. Looking like it's coming up short to me. Hope not. So I'm going to try pushing that wheel all the way forward, see if it catches those last couple of teeth. If not, that just is stupid. And that's all the way forward, can you see? Let's see if that's got enough to do it. Yeah. Nope. Gotta go one more yet. There we go. Alright, we'll be fine. Also, I mean, you actually kind of want it all the way forward anyway, don't you? When you think about it. That way, if it stretches over time, you pull the wheel back. But I don't have to take any links out. I thought that was going to make for a good video. Yeah, let's see if we can get that master link on there. I'm going to walk it over to where it's an area I can get to the back of it. That'd be good. Like that. The clip. We're gonna have a dyslexic moment now. Alright, so the clip you want, chain's running this way, So you want the clip this way, so if it rubs on something, it doesn't pop the clip off. I believe that's a rule of thumb. Right? You agree? Someone's disagreeing right now, I know. I hear you. Now you gotta adjust the wheel. And let's see if we can kind of get those guys to go. What you're gonna look for is the mark to match on each side. It's gonna stretch a little, but I'm gonna go with right there for now. And I'm gonna eyeball that guy up. I'm gonna call that right between the first and the second line. I'm already past it. Gotta go back a little. That's in the middle. Is that one still? That one's still the same? It is. Might actually be a hair tight. I'm just going to sight down the wheel to the front tire and look at the whole bike to see if we're kind of looking good. I think we are. I'm going to crank down on that guy. The other side there's a hole that stops the bolt from spinning. You just got to jam a screwdriver in it. Tighten this side up until you line up with a hole for a cotter key. Let's go one more. So you get a cotter key for that. It's I'll run her a little later, see how she goes. And a little parts bike thievery. That's the bolt we're going to steal. That they had the wrong one in there. That might fight me a little bit though, because it's going to run into there. Hopefully it comes out far enough I can slide it off. I have a feeling this is going to have to come apart. Take the wheel off and then slide that out. Just the way it is. You think, will it? See if it'll walk off. Bet you the bolt's gonna hold it. Ha! Gotcha. Good. New bolt. Ended up running the bolt this way. I don't think it really matters. Just be easy to get off in the future. Pedal probably moves, I don't know, a ½ inch in the front. 3/4 of an inch maybe. Well, that guy. Looks like it's enough to work the brake light switch, but we may have to dangle that a little bit later on when we get it all kind of tuned. But I think we're getting pretty close. So I just have to tighten this guy, I think. No. Did I get that? Did not. Those are the things that cause you to have wrists that hurt. And go in and take a break, grab a cup of coffee. I figure we'll kind of take a see how these are doing. It's decent. They're in the right realm anyway. Might throw maybe a little clear on them. Maybe not. Again, this bike is gonna be run. It's a street legal dual sport, and it's gonna get run through the woods. So I'm not that concerned with making her too purdy. Just really functional and nothing too wobbly, except for me. Alright, break time's over. I'm trying to remember where I left off. So I think the next thing I want to try and do is, if you watch the tire spin, you know the tire's kind of bouncy a little bit. I know the rim's got a big divot in it. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. I might just leave it alone. I'm looking at where the tire is. I want to make sure the tire's not bouncing. Actually, I'm gonna leave it alone. I was gonna air down the tire and fill it back up again, but it might be all right. Yeah, it's got a dent in the rim. Again, dirt bike. I'm gonna go jump on the shifter. The little rubber boot was all cracked and dry rotted. I'm gonna try cutting a piece of fuel line on there. Let's go. It's just glass cleaner. Let's see if we can get that to start, and then we'll run it with the air gun. Yeah, get on there. It'll pop off when I get there. Let's see if we can. Pretty good. The air just kind of helps expand it while it's going down and hold it straight instead of like collapsing on you. And let's see if we can around it with a blade. Wouldn't exactly say that was the straightest of cuts, huh? Good enough. My rubber on. I think I'm gonna jump on the exhaust next. This is the one that was on the other bike, and that's how it's kind of supposed to be laid out, roughly. Because you know the muffler's in the way, but that's the mounting point for there, and that would go up to the cylinder head. Again, the problem with this one is it is busted out of the end. Of course, they tried cobbling something together there. And this one is cobbled together down in here. I don't know where I want to make the splice. Looks like, so if that's that guy, if I slice it there, the slice will be right about here. It would probably be the least noticeable. I could do it anywhere. Yeah, I could do it up here too if I want, but my thinking is I kind of want to slice it, then get a little larger piece of tubing, maybe go over the top of it to make it stronger, instead of just trying to, you know, possibly I could weld it right together like a butt weld, but I wouldn't mind sleeving over the top of it, or maybe, you know, you can take it and cut it in half and have like a letter C going this way and a letter C going this way with a piece of pipe, and then we could buzz it back around, just because of the vibration and stuff of the bike. That's what I'm thinking of. So I think we should unbolt that one there, and we'll lay the other one up into place and see how it looks. And again, I think we could probably use these locating holes for gauging. So say if I come an inch off, mark it, come an inch off of this one, mark it, it should be fairly close. So just make sure we got enough room around there. I think so. Should be enough room to clear everything. That's roughly what they did too, by scabbing one and another one into it. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is try getting that screw out and that screw out, see if I can get this chrome off, and maybe we'll either sandblast or clean this up. It has to get painted anyway. We'll clean this up, and I got a dent removal tool. Maybe we could possibly get some of these out, or maybe take the baffle out and try to push from the back side and see if we can just get rid of this this bruise right here a little. If not, that's fine. So that dent and that dent are the two things that we're kind of looking at. And I got a stud puller. There's a joke there somewhere. That it kind of welds on studs, and you take a slide hammer and you pull up on the area. But we got to get down to paint so that it has something to weld to. So we're going to go do a little cleanup. go back in there after I pull it up a little bit, get those last little spots. Yeah, see if we can get a little Sparky to do its thing. And right in the middle of that one. Don't know how long to hold them for. I'm going to count to like 2 seconds, I think. We'll see how easy they rip out. If they are too easy, then we'll come back, give a little more. You think one right there? And we'll do a couple down in here. I don't know how thick this stuff is, so. Damn it. I know this thing has a reset on it too. I think I'm just not making good contact. Let's try it up here. Yeah, it just wasn't getting in there. So we'll tug on those a little bit, see how it does, and then I think we're just not making a good contact there. Where's the slide handle? Right there. Let's see how this guy does. Where do you want to go? Let's try that one first. Watch your face. And for this one, I gotta get another one down here somewhere. Now you can break them off and we can go for like different spots. Again, we're not going for perfection. It looks like the whole thing can kind of come up more though, don't it? One in the middle. Yeah, we'll get a little more of this one. And I think we should be able to rock this thing back and forth to break them off. Let's see if I can get one where I need it. There we go. Oops. Kind of working. That one's fighting us a lot though. And off it comes. I think we should try to get another one there. Let's see if we can get one right in there. Kind of tight quarters. Come on, so I'm going to dance around with that a little bit, and I think I'm going to change position of these three up here too, and we'll try like there, and probably right there. See if we can kind of get them up a little bit more flush. Plus, I could probably tap down on this edge right here while I'm doing it. So the old one's taken off, and I put that one up in its place and just kind of seeing the pattern where it's going to go. That's the factory mount right there, and they kind of kick up on an angle. Come out decent. I could play with it more, but I'm just going to call it right there. If it was a body panel, you go over with filler and, you know, kind of smooth it right out, but it's got a share of lumpiness. Hopefully flat black will make some of that disappear. So we're gonna go and try to figure out where I want to split it. And I'm kind of liking the idea of going by where the weld here is and then measure an inch off of there. I'm gonna slice it and then an inch off of this one and slice it. We'll use this front of the pipe from this one and the rear section of this one because that front is messed up over there. So, and the other thing is too, the reason why I'm not welding the flange onto the other one is I just don't quite know how that flange is supposed to be orientated, whereas this one should be the factory correct. You can see that it's not square to the head of the thing because of the way it comes out. So I want to try to maintain that. So let me get them marked, sliced, and cobbled together in the center. Probably gonna, when it's apart, I'll be able to get them both in the sandblast. I'll sandblast both halves of it. We'll clean it up and we'll mount it in place, bolt the flange up there. When we have that, we'll get a couple of tacks on it and then remove it, weld it, grind it, and see at that point if we want to scab on a sleeve on the outside of it. That's the plan. I got all them sandblasted and cut and sectioned together. Looks pretty good. My line's a little large on the side, on the top, but that's fine. I think we get a couple of tacks on that and I'll be able to pull that out of there. We'll buzz that all around. And hopefully I probably won't even need to sleeve it. It's starting to look like I might be able to get away with it, but I'll make that decision after. You got some distance around the shock. Should be alright with. Happy with it. I have no gasket in there right now, but that's pretty much going to crush down to almost nothing anyway. I think we'll be okay with that. If not, we're going to make it fit. So I'm going to get the welder set up. We'll get a couple tacks on there and go from there. The welder set just a little under 1/8 inch. We'll see how that does. Again, we're just going to try getting a couple of tacks on it and have it try to hold its position. Watch your eyes. Yeah. Burnt right through it. It's too hot. Burnt right through it. Knock her down to, I don't know, 16 gauge. Filled up my boo-boo, and I'm going to have to transfer that to there. Get that out of our way. I'd get one underneath it. You got 3 underneath it. Should be able to unbolt that now, and we'll buzz that all the way around and make her one nice solid piece. I got it welded up and ground up. Now I want to throw some heat paint on it. Problem is, I don't have much flat black left. I just mostly have gloss. Maybe. Here we got gloss. So I'm going to shoot it gloss first, and then I'm going to hit it with the flat black after to try to get the right finish. Worst case, I got to take a run to Wally World. It's got a little blowout in the skin right here, but that does not leak to the inside of the muffler. So I'm actually going to leave that alone for future water to come out, so it doesn't get any worse, I guess. You guys get the idea. So while the exhaust has gotten painted and it's drying, and I gotta again still hit it with the flat black yet, but these are the things that keep your leg from burning. The guards that go on the side of it, and you can kind of see there. Kittywampus, this one's pretty banged up too. So I'm gonna go take a few minutes while they're drying and kind of hammer this out and see if we can get those to have some facsimile of what they're supposed to look like. and get them ready to go back on. See if we can kind of beat on these a little bit. Got a piece of wood here. Let's start getting in that corner there. I think what I might do is instead of trying to rush it, I'm probably going to let that sit overnight, the paint on the muffler, so that it's not just nothing but solid fingerprints. Trying to rush it and finagle it on there, you know. Again, not that I'm all that concerned about the finish, but I want to give it somewhat of a fighting chance. And that guy has to come down. That lip's got to come down. There's a bit of a twist to it too, huh? I really should be holding it up against the muffler too to make sure that these two guys kind of line up and it has a standoff, you know, roughly probably about a 1/4 inch away from the muffler. But I'm going to try to get the wiggliness out of it at least, and then from there I can probably flex it into submission, because right there is kind of funky. I got the sandbag out too, just in case I want to start hammering on that. You get the idea? So that'll be it, guys. I think I got pretty much footage on this one, so we're gonna go wrap it up, and hopefully one more, we should have the bike like almost to that point of being done. So with that, I want to thank all you guys for kind of hanging out in the garage with me and doing some wrenching. So until the next time, we'll meet again. See ya.